Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. So I'm not going to do this for all the games. I'm just going to do it to probably the biggest games of the weekend. So the preview and a little bit of a review of the biggest game. So for me, the biggest game this weekend would be England England versus South Africa. Following weekend probably be England versus New Zealand. I'm not saying that I'm talking about overall for all those games over the weekend. I'm not saying that South Africa versus France is not a big game, but I'd still say England, New Zealand. Then the following weekend is the biggest game of the entire autumn internationals, and that will obviously be New Zealand versus Ireland. So this week I'm going to focus in on just basically South Africa, England, how I see the game going. And it's kind of strange. I've been pretty happy with our team selection going forward. And I thought we had a really good chance of winning, but every single pundit out there that I've heard have said basically that England are going to win, but it's going to be a tight game because we don't have our full squad. I really don't see losing Faf and Villy as yes, it's a big loss, and those are really top players, but I still think there's Damon Willems as an exceptional player, and but what I'm going to do is, and Irvin van Zyl is also a really good player, but I've got the team sheets here. I'm going to put the team sheets up and then we'll discuss them. So here we go. So here's the two sides. I've marked some colours out there of players, really good battles that I see happening. So basically I'd say the entire back row of South Africa, so we're talking Warren Whiteley, Dwayne Vermeulen and Siya Kolisi, up against Mark Wilson, Tom Curry and Brad Shields. I think between Mark Wilson, Tom Curry and Brad Shields, I think there's only 10 caps, so it's very, very inexperienced. I think Siya Kolisi is probably playing the best rugby of his life at the moment. Dwayne Vermeulen are still rated as probably one of the top 5 rugby players on the planet. And then Warren Whiteley. Warren Whiteley's come up under a lot of stick. Because he's not a traditional number 8, and I can see what Rassie Erasmus has been trying to do by moving. Obviously, Warren is an out and out number 8, but moving Peter Steff into the number 5 position to make space for Warren Whiteley, when we've got somebody like Archie Snyman on the bench that is probably a better number 5 in my opinion than Peter Steff. Peter Steff is an exceptional number 7, and having Dwayne Vermeulen at 8. But yes, it's a bit of an experiment to see how it would appear. But if you look at Warren Whiteley, Dwayne Vermeulen, and Siya Kolisi all three are captains for the Springboks. Even Etzebeth's been a captain for the Springboks. Peter Steff's been a captain for the Springboks. Actually, I wonder if Dwayne Vermeulen has been a captain. He must have been a captain, or he's got that leadership ability. So those 5 players have all been captains at one point or another for the Springboks. The other one that I'm looking forward to seeing is Eben Etzebeth going up against Mario Toje. I think Mario Toje is an exceptional rugby player. I don't know really much about George Cruz. I think I've seen him play a few games. But yeah, him going up against Peter Steff. Peter Steff is probably the most outstanding player that we have from a workhorse point of view. And tackles made, and he's just an exceptional rugby player. But now that he's moved back to 5, and I've got used to seeing him at 7, we'll see what happens. The other big thing would be Stephen Kitsoff going up against Carl Sinclair. If you remember from the England tour, that Carl Sinclair came under a lot of pressure from Stephen Kitsoff. Stephen Kitsoff is a beast of a man, and exceptionally powerful. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Beats now being injured. I actually thought maybe Oxenchair or somebody else, a proper loose head, would have got an opportunity to play. But they've obviously taken Thomas du Toit, who's been playing tight head at the moment, but he is traditionally a loose head. So he's going to obviously be the loose head substitute for Stephen Kitsoff. And I don't know if you English guys haven't seen Thomas du Toit. He's seriously 130. I think he's 130 kilograms. He's seriously powerful. But I'd say the biggest difference between the two sides is the substitutes or the bench, or I shouldn't actually call them substitutes. We should call them finishers because that's what they are. They're there to finish the game out, and I think South Africa have a much higher impactful set of substitutes. So 17, 18, 19, and 20. So Thomas de Toy, Volkalo, Achia Snyman, and Lotte Jager are that's seriously tough. I feel sorry for whoever has to go up against Thomas de Toy and Volkalo, especially when Bongi comes up, and they'll probably surround Marks for a while. I think Marks will have at least a 65-minute game, and Luert hasn't played any rugby since the start of the year, so yeah, we'll see what if he actually does come on. It would be nice to see him on. The back line, got Ambrose Papier, who's obviously a specialist 9, Elton Yankees, who can slot in at 10, Andre Esthuizen. I can see what they're trying to do, because obviously Damon Delende and Andre Esthuizen are both pretty abrasive number 12s, but so yeah, we'll see what happens there. Looking at this, I'd probably say that the England backline is really nice. Ben Youngs, Owen Farrell, Johnny May, Bento, Henry Slade, Jack Noel, and Elliot Daly. This is a pretty good backline. Backline, yeah. From the South African side, obviously we've got Evan van Zyl and Damon Willemse, very, very inexperienced, especially for two of the spine positions, 9 and 15. So yeah, I'd written on somebody else's blog that it's going to come down to, for England to be successful, Owen Farrell is going to have to control the game exceptionally well. I know with the line speed from South Africa at the moment and their defensive line speed, it might put Owen Farrell under a lot more pressure, but they probably just sit deeper in the pocket. And the goal would be to turn around the South African forwards. Is to obviously always be kicking for territory, making sure that the South African forwards are always running backwards. That's I would say where England could get the upper hand. From a South African point of view, it would be all about controlling the breakdown and the set pieces, and obviously trying to get set piece penalty, more penalties to try obviously gain ground or obviously slot those 3 points. I'd put in my Super Brew for South Africa to win by 11 points, and I'll stick with that. I think it might be a little bit closer than that, but I thought we were really doing well, and now the pundits are saying that it looks like it's going to be an England victory. I just think, just looking at those sides, for me, maybe I'm being a little bit biased, but I think the South African side is exceptional. Yes, 9 and 15 could be a better selection, but besides that, that's an exceptional side that South Africa are fielding. Right, we go to the next slide. And all I've really done now is I've just done the forwards. For me, this is where the South African game will be won or lost. Look, the figures are as close as what I could get right. Doing some research, it takes quite a while to put these together. It'd be nice if I could find a place that had a database where I could pull this information. I have been looking around trying to find some free ones, but I'm hoping that there are a few that I can find. But if we look at the front row weights, it's about most of South Africa's weight over is in the front row. So I think it looks like 20 kilograms over in the front row, and that 20 kilograms looks like it translates the whole way through. So it's all sits in the front row for South Africa. If I look at the caps, it's 36 average to a 21 average. I'd say this is where South Africa needs to step up. The one thing I've noticed, a lot of teams are saying, well, no, you got to front up against South Africa, and I agree with that. I think that's the truth. But there's a difference between fronting up and being disciplined, and fronting up and being not disciplined. And I've noticed, especially in that England series, that last England series, that yes, they were fronting up and they were trying to be physical, but obviously you can't give away penalties. Andre Pollard will punish you every day of the week with penalties. So I'm hoping that the England side can front up and B, front up in a legal way, and not a red mist, and like a Lavanini kind of deal. But yeah, those are the teams I I'm really looking forward to this game tomorrow. It's gonna start the week off, the autumn internationals. But yeah, that's the tight five. I think I'm just trying to think. Obviously, the Vinopola brothers would have made a huge big difference. Obviously, at 1-8, that's really go forward. And I think probably the five would have been Courtney Laws, if I'm not mistaken, or Joe Launchbury. But if you had Courtney Laws and Joe Launchbury, then Mario Toji would move out to 6. So yes, I think. But is he a better 6 or a 4? I think it's 6 that he would go out to. Or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, it is 6. So yeah, it's. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of those two teams? Or what do you think the score's going to be? Do you think it's going to be quite a tight affair? Do you think England are going to win or South Africa are going to win? Who are your players that you think are going to? It's really going to stand out. For me, I'm hoping that our wingers, the South African wingers, score tries again. They are try scoring machines, and for all you English guys, you really must watch Sabu Nkosi. He's very powerful. I think he's playing 14. Let me just confirm that. Yes, he is playing 14. Sabu Nkosi is exceptionally physical, very fast, very strong. The other one, if Malcolm Marx, obviously any day of the week, I think Malcolm Marx is probably, of all those forwards, is probably the most outstanding. Would probably make definitely, in my mind, definitely make a World 15. The other outstanding players, obviously Dwayne Vermeulen, Mario Toji. I'm just trying to think of. Sorry, guys. It's always the last slide that I go to. Actually, even past that. Obviously, Dylan Hartley, obviously very experienced campaigner going up against Malcolm Marx. Yeah, we'll see. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Jamie George come on. I like Jamie George. I've seen him playing Saracens for quite a while. He'll probably come on when Bongi comes on. Bongi's pretty rock solid number 2, but none of them are in the same league as my personal opinion. But who else are you looking forward to seeing on the day? The other one is the South African tight head Frans Malherbe, who's been playing. He's been steadily getting better. Wilco Low is knocking on that door for that tight head berth. Like last year, we were super concerned about the tight head. Even in the beginning of the year, we were worried about tight head, and it seems like it's a position that we've really started to sort out. But listen, guys, I hope it's a great weekend. I hope there's no yellow cards or red cards, as I normally say, and it's a good, clean game, good, clean, hard game, and that the best team wins on the day. For me, I'm hoping that South Africa wins. But please, guys, put down your scores down, what you think it's going to be, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Chat soon. Cheers. Bye.